Norris, editor of Photo Review Australia magazine, also the webmaster of RealSurf.com. I got a little something special for you today, a camera review. What this particular camera does is confront a problem all of us surfers face, namely who takes the pictures and who surfs. Most of us will be familiar with the syndrome of going to the beach with a camera. Typically one of our mates has got a new one. We'll get surf pictures, but he stands on the beach, takes pictures for a while, and then comes out. We get pictures the first day. After that, it never happens again. Why? Because he goes, well, I took pictures of you guys last time. And everybody argues, and they paddle out, go for a surf anyway. No more pictures. This solves the problem. I'll show you how. It's the Olympus 725SW, which you see I've just tucked in there, so it's right out of the way when I'm surfing. This is a 7-megapixel camera. It shoots video, 15 frames per second, VGA resolution. In fact, what you're watching right now is shot on a 725SW. I'll take a closer look at it now, obviously not here at the beach because I'm going to go surfing, and I'm going to have a camera with me. But I'll take a closer look in just a second. How long can we keep it going? Well, and it's sayonara, DY Point.
Hi again. Thought you might like to see what a clip looked like shot with this 725SW. Well, let's have a closer look at the camera now. Operationally, very easy to use. A recessed power button here to switch it on. That takes the cover away from the lens, the 3x optical zoom. On the reverse, we see a great big bright LCD. This terrific LCD, particularly inside. As I said, a bit of an issue when you're outside. The buttons here, our top one is our zoom, these two keys up there at the top. Then we have a mode selector. This is an important part because the camera's got 25 modes. So if we step through those, just a moment, there we go. You see it's in movie mode, and I can step by pressing this ring here. I can step through the other modes, and then when I've got to one that I want to have a look at, I press the center button to select it. And then if I wish to make any changes within that mode, to the way that the mode operates, I press the button down here below that my thumb's resting on, and then I move to, say, image quality. I press the selector button, and then I select the image quality I want. Now I'm good to go. So it's very easy to use on the control surfaces, pretty straightforward. I don't think that there are any major surprises for anybody who's used a digital camera. Alright, so what's the good and what's the bad of the camera and the summing up? Well, on the negative side, I'd say the lack of an optical viewfinder is a problem for me. I find looking at LCD in bright conditions that you'd get typically with surfing photography, it's difficult to read the LCD. But that could be said of any point-and-shoot camera, and at least this one goes in the water. The fact that it only gives me JPEG files, image files, I'd like to have the option of RAW, which are uncompressed files. Again, typical for a point-and-shoot camera. The fact that it doesn't have a direct manual control mode, that's a minor issue for me, but the controls within the selectable modes make up for it for the most part. The shutter lag is typical point and shoot, which is too long. That is, if I pre-focus by just depressing the shutter button halfway, I can take a picture in about 0.3 of a second. That's okay. But if I just snap like that, I'm looking at more like 0.6 of a second. That's quite a lot of bleed time, typical for a point and shoot, but difficult for surfing photography. So I tend to put the camera into the multi-shot mode, which takes a picture about every 1.5 seconds. And that seems to give me a pretty good result. Finally, the internal memory of the camera is relatively small, at least it's got one, but you really want to have a gigabyte or greater card in here. A 1 gig card will cost you in the neighborhood of $70 to $80 and will hold about 16 minutes of high-res video and or 300 high-res pictures or a combination thereof. On the good side, obviously, the fact that it's waterproof and shock resistant. Those are the biggest points. You can just take it out and start shooting. It's got a 3x optical zoom. Brilliant. That's good fun. A longer zoom, optical zoom than that, would actually be somewhat problematic in the water because you get too much shake. This has an anti-shake feature on it, which I use when I'm out in the water. Obviously, or maybe not obviously, it doesn't apply to the video side of it, but that is something you might want to have on there. You'll pay a small price in image resolution, however, to use it. And I like the fact that you can change the exposure value in the camera. What that means is that I can set the camera to make the pictures a little bit darker, and I want to do that when I'm doing surfing pictures, just to preserve more detail in the whitewater and the very bright areas of my pictures. So finally, what's the price of the camera? Go price in Australia when I was making this in November was about $570 to $580 typically. You can get it online for less, but there you've got to pay for shipping, obviously, and insurance. So you want to check those costs and see how you go with that. I wouldn't get the camera from overseas, because then you won't have warranty coverage. And I think that really sums up this camera. It's a terrific little beast. Highly recommend it for surfers. It's a great second camera if you're a serious photographer as well, just because of its durability. Okay, that's it for me, Don Norris, of Photo Review Australia Magazine and RealSurf.com. Happy picture taking.